Chris? Dr. Pierce, take a look at this. A Christmas shopping service offers to make all your Christmas purchases well in advance of the holiday. It says here, all you have to do is show us the names and the ages of the people you wish to remember. We will relieve you of your Christmas shopping burdens. These are not your Christmas service, Doctor.
I'm afraid not, Chris. Christmas is commercialized. It's big business. And the spirit of Christmas, it's lost in the crowded packed stores.
No, Dr. Pierce. Underneath all the hustle and bustle, I know people still believe in Santa Claus and what Christmas really stands for. Now then, what would you like for Christmas?
I'll tell you what I want, Chris. I want an X-ray machine. We needed one for years.
You shall have it.
Chris, if I really get an X-ray machine, I know you're Santa Claus.
You wait and see. What is it, Doc? Something on your mind?
Well, Chris, you know I've been fighting the board of directors for years now, but they finally will be. Issued a definite order. I'm sorry to tell you this, Chris, but you're going to have to leave the Maplewood home.
But Maplewood is my home.
Chris, the laws of the state of New York and Maplewood's character, they only allow us to keep the elderly as long as they're good mental and physical health.
What's wrong with me? You say yourself I'm in better shape than 90% of your patients. And mentally, well, I passed all your exams with flying colors. I still remember the last one. 5 plus 3 is 8, and 25 minus 20 is 5. Your responsibility is the same as your life. And look, physical coordination. 1.
Chris, you've been alert and exceptionally skillful, but it's this Chris Kringle business.
You mean because I'm Santa Claus?
Yes.
Well, that happens to be the truth.
Well, Chris, unfortunately, the board of directors don't believe in Santa Claus.
So, I'm not saying because the board of directors doesn't believe in Santa Claus?
Well, Chris, that's one way of putting it.
So, what happens next?
Well, Maplewood has an arrangement with the sanitarium.
What? The nut house? Ned, I'll be damned before I go there.
Chris, the choice is up to you. You can leave Maplewood and no one will bother you. We'll talk about it again in the morning.
Look, Mommy, there's the balloon. Oh, yeah, look. Go ahead, but be careful and no running.
Hello, Jim.
Chris Kringle, how nice to see you. How are you?
Fine, Jim, never better. How those boys of yours doing?
You're getting fat and lazy and it's mostly your fault. What brings you here?
Jim, I know you need a place to stay.
You do? But what about the Maplewood home?
Could you put me up for a while?
Why, certainly, Chris, as long as you want. There's plenty of room.
Well, fine. I'll be on my way.
Alright.
Come on, Mommy.
You know, there's only snow on the ground. This would be a perfect day.
Dragon and Andy know to float they're on? Yes, Miss Walker. The first base should be in March. We're about to begin. Yes, Miss Walker.
Now where'd the line the Tin Man run off to?
Oh, dear. I don't know. You can't expect me to know everything.
Where's that sleigh at? Have you seen Rudolph?
Santa!
Out of my way.
Santa!
Not now, Missy. Can't you see I'm busy?
Miss Walker, I'm afraid we've got a problem with their Santa Claus.
Allow me, sir. See, all the reason. And what makes you such an expert, my dear sir? Oh, my, you should be ashamed of yourself. Think of the children watching you.
How did you allow yourself to get in such condition?
Look, Miss Walker,
I'm responsible for all personnel basics. You're absolutely shameful. You're fired.
Disgraceful behavior. Turn in your suit at once.
Indeed.
Just think if Mr. Macy had seen him.
Oh dear. Just think of Mr. Gimbal has seen him.
Yes, Mrs. Walker, you're right. That was absolutely shameful.
Now what are we going to do with those saints till the parade's about to begin?
Well, perhaps
Oh
my
word, Sir, would you be our Santa?
Have you had any experience?
Yes, a little.
Then you have to help us out, please.
Madam, I'm not in the habit of substituting for a spurious Santa Claus.
Please.
Miss Walker, the parade's about to begin. We're just gonna have to go on without Santa Claus.
Oh, dear.
Look at all the eager young faces. All right, give me the clothes. I'll do it.
Oh, thank goodness. Yes, thank you.
Fine, come with me.
If he doesn't even need any padding. Cleo, where's Susan?
I left her back in Uncle Fred's apartment. They're watching the parade together. Isn't it exciting?
At this moment, I don't care if I never see another parade again. All I want to do is go home and take a hot bath. Would you go tell Fred and Susan I'll be home soon?
Susan, look up there. That's Jack the Giant Killer. And that great big fellow over there? That's the giant.
Of course, but there are no giants, really.
Well, maybe not now, but in the old days, Susan.
Nuh-uh. People do grow very tall sometimes, but that's unusual. My mommy told me.
Well, perhaps your mother's right, but I still believe in giants anyhow.
Fred, Susan?
Come on indoors. Would you like a cup of coffee?
Oh, thank you, no. Look, Mommy. There goes Santa Claus. He looks much better than the last one. He was a last-minute replacement. Had to fire the last one I hired. Why? Do you remember the condition of the handyman last week? Oh, yes. Santa was even more disgraceful.
Well, I can see your mother doesn't believe in Santa Claus.
Well, I don't believe in Santa Claus either. Run along, Susan. I'll be right there. Fred, Susan is certainly not going to be led to believe a lot of myths and legends like Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy or...
Why? What harm does it do?
I believe in being realistic and truthful with Susan. When children grow up thinking life's a big fairy tale, subconsciously they wait for Prince Charming to come along. And when he does, and turns out to be...
Doris! I know you had a tough break. You loved someone. You trusted him. And then one day, you woke up and realized how wrong you'd been.
Fred!
But all men aren't like that. And I just wish you'd give me the chance to prove it. I'm sorry, but I'm right about this, Doris.
I've burned my fingers once. Come along, Susan.
Coming, Mother. Thank you, Uncle Fred.
Yes, thanks for being kind to Susan.
And Santas are meant to be a boon to the sales department, and you are by far the most authentic Santa Claus we've ever had.
Oh, yes! You were so convincing to the children. They actually thought you were real. Well, I see that you're ready for work. Mr. Shellhammer has suggested that you be given the job of Santa for Macy's.
Well, I'm very happy to accept the job, Mrs. Walker.
Very good. That's the list take for this year. Santa has always been a problem. Mr. Shellhammer, please go to the salary for our new Santa.
Oh, well, that's all right, Mrs. Walker.
Very well, Mr.
Kringle.
Yes, of course. Miss Adams, please have Mr.
Kringle.
Fill out an employment card. Meanwhile, Mr. Shellhammer will orient you to our toy department.
Welcome to Macy's, Mr. Kringle.
Our Santa coaster was never looked better.
Thank you very much.
Here, this is a list of toys that are to be pushed. If a child asks for a toy that we don't have here at Macy's, you are to suggest one from that list. Is this clear?
I understand, but why not give the children what they want?
Well, yes, of course. That's our motto.
Look, thank goodness. There's Santa. Hey, he's a pretty good one. At least he looks real.
Oh, good. There he is. My feet are killing me.
Well, hello there. What's your name?
Joan,
What would you like for Christmas, Joan?
I want a Raggedy Ann angel, and I'm going to take really good care of it.
Well, I'm sure you've been a good girl. You'll get one. Off you go.
Thank you, Santa. Why did you tell her that? They're not making this kind of doll. I have looked everywhere.
But you can get them at the Acme Toy Company on 246 West 26th Street. They're $8.50. A wonderful bargain.
Are you sending me to another store?
Certainly am. The important thing is to make the youngsters happy, isn't it? Who's next? And what's your name?
Judy,
What's the most important wish you have?
a talking, walking, singing dolly.
Now, Judy, you know that we've already discussed that. It's just.
Then that's exactly what you'll have. Come along.
Thank you, Santa.
But I have looked everywhere.
You can get them at the FL Short Store on 75th Avenue. Tell them Chris Kringle sent you.
This is so wonderful. Thank you so much.
And what's your name?
Sally,
What would you like for Christmas, Sally?
I want skates.
Have you been a good girl?
Yes.
You'll get them.
Thank you, Santa.
I would advise you to go to Gimbel's for Sally skates. They have the right stops for her lengths.
Gimbals? I can't believe my ears.
Gimbals? Gimbals of all places.
Whether Macy's or Gimbel's sells the toy doesn't make any great difference. Does it?
No, thank you very much.
Miss Adams, find Miss Walker immediately and tell her we are to release this man playing Santa Claus effective immediately. It's simply inconceivable. If word ever got back to Mr. Macy, Lord only knows what would happen.
Yes, Mr. Shannon.
Oh dear.
Excuse me. Are you the toy buyer? This is the real Christmas spirit. We will never forget it.
Yes, I'm going to be a regular Macy's customer from now on.
I can't thank you enough for this tremendously helpful service. Thank you.
Mr. Shellhammer, listen to this note we just received. Macy's Santa is actually helpful to parents instead of being purely commercial. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Isn't this wonderful?
Well, yes, you and I think so. And the parents think so. Will Mr. Macy think so? Wait right here, Susan. Listen here, Santa. You see my little friend over there? Well, she doesn't believe in Santa Claus. But if you can get a wish out of her, I'll arrange to have it under the tree on Christmas morning.
Good for you, young lady. I'd like to talk to you for a moment. What's your name?
Susan Walker.
What would you like for Christmas, Susan Walker?
Whatever I want my mother will get me, provided of course it isn't too expensive.
Oh,
You see, you're really the gentleman my mother hired this year to play the part of Santa Claus. She says you're a little better than most, and your beard looks real though.
it is real. Go ahead. Look.
Susan.
Yes, Mother.
Susan, please come here. Wait here. I need to have a conversation with Mr. Gailey. Mr. Gailey, would you mind coming with me?
But I can explain to her.
Come on. Careful. Come on. Come on.
Well, hello there. My goodness, why are you crying?
The child is from orphanage in Holland. She doesn't understand English at all and hasn't said a word since she arrived 4 days ago. I'm very concerned. She's so frightened everywhere.
Ja, en wat is die naam dan, Nicken?
Marijke,
Marijka, waarom ik je zo?
omdat ik nu wel een baby heb.
Omdat ik den Paradies heb. Dus du is eine gute Mutter, hat mir eine Paradies. Ja?
Maar ik weet niet wat betekent.
Ja, jij dan even zingen.
Fred, whether you agree with me or not, I must insist that you state my wishes regarding my child.
But Doris, I can't see any harm that's done.
Mother, did you see that? That Santa Claus did the most wonderful thing.
Mr. Kringle, would you please come here? Susan, Santa's just an employee of the store, like the elevator man or the doorman or anyone else.
When he started speaking Dutch to that little girl,
Susan, I speak French, but that does not make me Joan of Arc.
you should have seen the twinkle in her eyes.
Hello, Susan Walker. You asked to see me, Mrs. Walker?
Yes. You're an employee of this store, aren't you?
Yes.
And you're not really Santa Claus, of course, because there's no such real person.
I'm sorry to contradict you, Mrs. Walker, but there certainly is, and here I stand to prove it.
No, you don't understand. I want you to be perfectly honest in front of the child.
I am being perfectly honest.
Miss Adams, will you please bring our Santa's employee card? What is your name?
Chris Kringle.
No, I mean your real name. Miss Adams, please read from the card.
Employee name, last name, Pringle, first name, Chris, 8. As old as my tongue and a little older than my teeth.
Thank you, Miss Adams. That will be all.
Is there anything else I can help you with, Mrs. Walker?
No, thank you. Fred, would you please take Susan home?
Yeah, come on, Susan. Come on.
I'm sorry, but I must immediately relieve you of responsibilities. I have to look out for the welfare of the children that you come into contact with, and I don't want no trouble. I'll offer us 2 weeks severance pay. Is that acceptable?
Miss Walker, please come quickly. Mr. Mason wants to see us both in his office immediately.
What do you suppose he wants?
I have no idea, but he seemed determined. Please hurry.
He's probably heard about Mr.
Kringle?
Please wait here. I'll have this Adam prepare a voucher for you to sign.
And at the marketing department, institute an immediate store-wide change of policy. No, not tomorrow, today, immediately. So I bet you two are wondering why you're here.
I'm so sorry about the misunderstandings.
Congratulations, this is the biggest goodbye that's ever hit this store. Why, Macy's Santa Claus recommending Gimbals, the store with the real Christmas spirit. I must keep this fellow playing Santa Claus. My own grandson was convinced that he was real. Whose idea was this?
I can't take all the credit.
You can both expect immediate pay raises. I can't wait to see young Gimbals' face when he gets a load of this.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Macy.
Thank you, sir. Well.
Can you believe I just fired our wonderful new Santa?
Doris, why would you do such a thing?
The old man is crazy. He really thinks he's Santa Claus.
I don't care if he thinks it's the Easter Bunny. We had to have him playing Santa Claus to make him have fired.
Perhaps we can find another Santa to carry the same policy.
No, that won't work. Macy brought his grandson to see Aaron Kringle this afternoon. If he's not playing Santa Claus, all will be lost.
But the old man is delusional. He really thinks he's Chris Kringle. Think of the children. Perhaps we should have the company psychologist examine.
Well, that does sound like a reasonable solution. But don't let one word of this get out until we get Sawyer's report.
Oh, Mr. Kringle, how weak you are. Mr. Kringle, thank goodness you're still here. I have reconsidered and you can still have the job.
Thank you. I must decline.
But why?
I'm afraid I don't like your attitude, Mrs. Walker. What are yours, Mr. Shellhammer?
But your kindness and helpfulness has caused such a sensation. You must stay and keep spreading the good will.
You have clearly indicated your disbelief. That's enough for me.
But Mr. Macy, he will be so angry. He will mean my job.
Please, Mr. Kringle, won't you stay? It's Christmas.
If that's the case, I must certainly stay.
Isn't that lovely?
Thank goodness.
You know, Mrs. Walker, for the past 50 years or so, I've been more and more worried about Christmas. Seems we're all so busy trying to beat the other fellow and make things go faster, shinier, and costing less that Christmas and I are sort of getting lost in the shuffle.
Well, I don't think so. Christmas is still Christmas.
No, Christmas isn't just a day. It's a frame of mind. That's what's been changing. That's why I'm glad I'm here, because maybe I can do something about it.
So lovely.
Yes. Well, thank you. Good night. Oh, Mr. Kringle,
Yes.
would you mind stopping by Mr. Sawyer's office at your earliest convenience?
Mr. Sawyer?
He's the vocational guidance expert for Macy's. We give each of our employees a little exam before they begin work, but with all the excitement, we bypass that requirement.
I bet it's one of those mental exams.
Yes, well, of sorts.
Never you mind, Mrs. Walker. I've took dozens of them before. Haven't felt one yet.
Miss Adams, please find the maple at home in the book, and then put me through. Right away.
That was a close call. What a relief.
Mr. Kringle, who was the first president of the United States?
George Washington.
How much is 3 times 5?
15.
How is your eyesight?
Good.
Your hearing?
Very good.
Is your memory good?
One of the finest.
How many fingers do you see?
3. I also see you bite your nails. Nervous habits like that are often signs of insecurity.
Oh, well, that's no concern of yours. How much is 3 times 5?
15. You've asked that one already. Do you sleep well at night?
Please, Mr. Kringle, this is very inappropriate behavior.
Are things at home okay?
That will be all, Mr. Kringle. My examination is over. You may go.
You know, Mr. Sawyer, you need to get out in the fresh air more. Get some exercise. Relax. Bye.
Thank you for coming in, Mr. Kringle.
Miss Walker, Mr. Shellhammer. Dr. Pierce from the Maplewood Home is here to see you now.
Thank you for giving us your time.
I have received your message. I'm only too happy to talk about Mr. Kringle. There are some things I think you should know about it, though. Yes, the definite quirks. Yes, we've discovered that.
I certainly would agree with that assessment.
Chris is absolutely harmless. There are thousands of people living perfectly normal lives with the same eye delusion. His illusions are for good. He just wants to be friendly and helpful. My only concern for Chris, though, is his welfare. I think it would be a good idea if someone kept an eye on him.
Well, thank you. I'll see to it that your request is honored.
Thank you.
Mrs. Walker, this man Kringle has a definite fixed illusion. If this man is to be kept on here, I cannot take any responsibility in this matter.
Well then, I will. Dr. Pierce says all that's necessary is for someone to keep an eye on Kringle.
Well, that sounds like a splendid solution, and you're just the person to look at for Miss Walker.
Oh, I couldn't. I live alone with my daughter. But,
Well, my boy is away at school, so I do have an extra room.
wonderful.
But that will take a little doing with Mrs. Shellhammer first. I tell you what, Doris, you take our Santa Claus home to dinner tonight, and I'll ring you up later and tell you what my wife says.
My Miss Cleo, dinner was superb.
Thank you.
I should know. I've come by this tummy through many years of hard eating.
Sorry about the venison steak I brought over for dinner, Chris. I guess I just wasn't thinking.
It's not that I'm a vegetarian. I mean, I love steak or mutton or pork, but deer meat, I just couldn't.
Of course not.
Cleo, I hope you cleared the dishes in a minute. I need to make a phone call. Perhaps Fred...
I hope it's delicious.
So, my mother says you're not really Santa Claus.
Susan, what sort of games do you play with the other children?
I don't play with them very much. The games they play are silly.
What sort of games?
Well, today they were playing zoo. They were all pretending to be animals, and they asked me what animal I wanted to be, and I didn't want to be one, so I just didn't play.
Well, why didn't you say you was a lion or a bear?
Because I'm not a lion. I'm a little girl.
The other children weren't animals either, Susan. They was just pretending.
That's what makes the game so silly.
I don't think that way at all. It's really quite fun, if you know how to play. You just have to use your imagination. Do you know what imagination is, Susan?
Yes. It's when you see things that aren't really there.
Well, no, not exactly. Imagination is a whole world by itself. You've heard of the French nation and the British nation.
Yes.
Well, this is the imagination. You can do anything you want here. How would you like to make snowballs in the summertime? Or drive a big bus down Fifth Avenue? You could be the Statue of Liberty in the morning, or fly south of a flock of geese in the afternoon. How would you like to try?
I'd like to.
I thought so. Now then, let's start with something simple. Perhaps a monkey in the zoo. That sounds like fun, eh?
Well, I'd like to, but I'm not for sure how.
Sure you do. It's easy. Now, spin over a little bit. See? That's it. Let your arms swing. Good. Now, stick your hand up here and kick yourself. See? That's it. Now, stick your tongue out a bit. Watch me. That's it. Kick yourself in the chest.
I wish Mr. Shellhammer would call. I don't like Chris's influence over Susan, even for one evening.
Doris. Chris is just what the doctor ordered for a far too serious 6-year-old. You should have him up to dinner more often.
No, thank you.
Neil Sir Kringle, not of the round table, and I will knight you with a touch of my magic wand.
But Queen Susan, please do not render me invisible. They touch me.
Susan, I'm sorry, but we must stop now. It's way past your bedtime.
But Mother, I was just about to knot.
We was just having a lesson in imagination.
Well, that's nice.
Please, Susan, go now. That was Mr. Shellhammer.
Mr. Kringle,
Yes?
where are you currently staying?
I'm living with my friend Jim.
Well, are you happy there?
Oh, I certainly am, but I do feel I'm imposing. I'll have to find a new place soon.
Well, in that case, I live alone in my apartment, and I have an extra bed. And I'd be delighted if you could come stay with me.
How kind of you.
Mr. Kringle, what do you think? Mr. Shellhammer wants to know if you'd like to stay with him. He lives right next to the store. It'd be so helpful for you.
Already accepted Mr. Gailey's invitation.
Mr. Gaylor. I see.
Good night, Mr. Kringle. Thank you for the lesson.
Good night, Susan.
Good night, Susan.
Good night, Susan.
Good night.
I'll call Mr. Shellhammer back and let him know you have a place to stay.
Well, I'm glad to have you, Mr. Kringle, because now I learned something I've always wanted to know. Does Santa sleep with his whiskers in or out of the covers?
I always sleep with them out. Cold air makes them grow.
Extra, extra! Read all about it! Macy spreads 2 Christmas spirit throughout the city.
Oh, Mr. Shellhammer, isn't this a miracle?
A miracle? Well, I suppose. Little did I dream when I saw Chris standing there next to that parade float that I would be picking out the man who would revitalize the entire merchandising business.
Was that you?
Of course.
Oh my goodness.
Why didn't one of you think of this? Now Macy's is suddenly a benevolent spirit, thinking only of the welfare of the public. How does this make Gibbles look, huh? From now on, if we haven't got by a customer once, we send them to Macy's.
Gimbel's responding in kind. This new idea is spreading like wildfire. This new idea is old as the Christmas spirit itself, and it's spreading coast to coast, all because of a man named Chris Kringle.
Susan, what would you like for Christmas?
Oh, I don't really have anything that I want.
It just doesn't seem right for a child your age not to have a wish. Every other child does.
Mr. Kringle, I only have one wish, and it's a big one.
Well, what is it?
My wish is for a house where Mother and I can live. Susan, living in an apartment's not much fun. The house should have a living room and a fireplace. And a big backyard with a swing in it. That way, I can just go outside and play instead of having to go all the way to Central Park.
That is quite a tall order, but I will do my best.
Look, here's what it looks like. Here's the living room with the fireplace, and my bedroom overlooking the backyard. And there's the big backyard.
You know, Susan, not every child can get every wish. I mean, lots of little boys, they wish for real locomotives. Why, they couldn't get them into their house. And lots of little girls, they want real baby brothers and sisters, knowing that parents can properly take care of them. Sometimes it's best to keep on wishing, but when you do get that wish, you really appreciate it.
I've wished for this house a long time, Mr. Kringle, and I'll appreciate it if I get it.
Well, I guess I have a lot of work to be doing.
Well, if you're really Santa Claus, then you'll get it for me.
Susan, come along, let's have the studies.
Well, he's saying Mr. Kringle will give me my wish.
I'm sure you'll try.
Well, if not, then he's just an old man with a white beard, just like Mother says.
Between me and you, I've been in love with Doris for quite some time now. She just doesn't seem interested. Doris' whole life is revolving around her daughter and her career, to the total exclusion of any normal social activities.
That's what's happening to thousands and thousands of people around the world.
Yeah, you're right. Are you ready to go home?
We have to do something about this. Right away.
You're certainly right, dude. But I don't know what.
Ask Doris out to dinner tonight.
What?
Ask Doris out to dinner tonight.
Oh, well, I'd like to, all right. But I know she'll refuse me. She'll say she's working the whole night and her dinner will be a sandwich and a cup of coffee at her desk.
Oh, I see. She's too busy to see you, eh? I'll ask her.
No, it's no use. I'll talk myself hoarse.
Well, maybe this time things will be different. Let's go to the locker room and finish changing. Go ahead and ask her out. Go on.
Hello, Doris.
Fred, what brings you here?
Oh, I'm just waiting for Chris to change. I'm walking him home.
Thanks for looking after Chris.
I think that Susan is enjoying her new friend.
Yes, I think so too.
Say, Doris, would you mind joining me for some dinner tonight?
Just us.
Yes.
Well, I'd really like to, Fred, but I'll be much too busy. My dinner will be sandwich and coffee. But well,
I can see you're busy here, Doris. I better go see what's taking Chris so long. Well, hello, Miss Adams. Is Mr. Kringle with you?
Hello, Mr. Gailey. I think he's left already. I saw him hurrying away some time ago in his sink pants.
That's very unusual. He's supposed to walk home with me.
are you sure, Miss Adams?
Yeah, he took the service elevator out of the building.
Why would he do that?
I'll call the porter. Perhaps he saw him. Mr. Blackwell, have you seen Chris Kringle? I see. Thank you. He never saw him.
Well, I'll call my apartment. Maybe he went there.
Is there anyone you want me to call?
No answer at my apartment. Doris, go call Cleo. Maybe he went to your place. Miss Adams, go call all hospitals and police stations, please, and ask for Mr. Kringle. And Doris, when you get done with that, we can go down to the Maplewood home. Or maybe he's with his friend Jim at the zoo.
Thank you. He's not there. Mr. Kringle!
Chris?
Mr. Kringle!
Chris!
Mr. Kringle!
Chris!
Has anyone seen that older gentleman with a white beard?
Oh, yes, just saw three of them on the corner ringing the bell.
Not Santa Claus, I mean a real person. He answers to the name Chris Kringle.
Oh, yes, how sweet to see someone your age still believes in Santa Claus.
You don't understand.
I saw Santa just this morning, and he's going to get me a doll for Christmas.
Mr. Kringle!
Chris?
Yes, and I'm getting a talking, walking, singing doll.
Mr. Kringle!
Chris!
Yes, and I'm getting brand new skates. Look, there's three standing trying to
Ho,
take
ho, ho!
But where could he have gone? He wasn't at the home, and he wasn't at the zoo. Perhaps he felt lost, or confused, or maybe he was in an accident.
Doris, I'm frankly amazed by you.
Why?
The efficient, businesslike Mrs. Walker getting so upset over an eccentric old man.
Chris isn't just an eccentric old man, Fred. He's much more than that. He's...
I know. If anything ever happened to Chris, the world would never be the same.
Oh, no, it's gone.
What is it?
My favorite brooch. It must have fallen off. It was everything my father gave me.
Well, perhaps we can go back and look for it.
We've been so many places. I'll never see it again. I'm sorry. I don't know how I ever could have made it this evening without you.
I guess that's going to be handy every once in a while. I'm glad I could help you, Doris.
I'm more than helpful. I'm more than grateful.
Well, good night, Doris.
Good night.
Chris? Is that you?
Oh, Chris. So, what happened?
Well, you're a little bit crazy, that's what happened. You mean to tell me you've been sleeping in my apartment this entire time? We've been chasing you all over the city.
Oh, you have, eh? Did you enjoy it?
Well, yes, in a way.
I thought so. Now, I'll try again sometime.
No, absolutely not. You should be ashamed of yourself. Just think of the word you've caused poor Doris. I'm going over right now to tell her what a fiend you are.
Yes, do so by all means.
Ho, ho!
Please, miss, I'm sure everything will turn out just fine.
Doris,
Fred, what is it?
I'm afraid Mr. Kringle's put a fasten on us. He's been sleeping in my apartment this entire time.
Oh, thank goodness.
See, miss. Good night, Mr. Kringle. Be very quiet, Susan.
Thank you, Cleo. Fred, why would you do that?
Well, it seems as though Mr. Kringle is playing Cupid as well as Santa Claus. He thinks we're two nice people and we should spend more time together.
Oh,
I'll bet the old fox is peeking through the window as we speak.
well, in that case, you better stay and have a sandwich with me.
I'd like that, but I won't stay long, of course. I know you have to work in the morning.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. I can always work.
Mommy!
Susan!
Miss Walker!
Susan, you just had a bad dream. Everything's okay.
Uncle Fred, I thought you were going to...
Shh. Everything's fine, Susan. Everything's fine, just as it should be. You just had a bad dream. I promise. You think you can go back to sleep now? Well, good night, Doris.
Mr. Mason, Mr. Gilmore, can I get your picture from the New York Post? Hey, now just 2 steps to the right, please. Shake hands. Big smiles, please.
Smile, Mr. Macy!
Let's get this picture over with. How do I look?
Oh, good, sir. Very good.
So, Gimble, you have a wife, don't you? 3 children now, right?
Fine. She's fine. Yes, sir. 3 beautiful grandkids.
Well, this is going to be a swell Christmas.
Look this way,
Yes,
gentlemen.
indeed.
Oh, Mr. Walker, this is a miracle of miracles.
Indeed, a sign I thought I'd live to see.
Okay, just one more.
Hi, Doris.
Thank you.
Mr. Kringle, in appreciation for the wonderful new spirit you brought not only to Macy's, but the entire city, we would like to appoint you your Christmas bonus.
Look this way, gentlemen.
So what do you intend to do with all this money?
I plan on making this particularly happy Christmas for someone who's been very kind to me. The doctor. I plan on getting him an X-ray machine.
Isn't that lovely?
That should be quite expensive.
Let me handle it. We'll get it for you wholesale.
Look this way, gentlemen.
We'll get it cost.
Thank you.
Doris, before you go, I have a little presentation to make myself. On my way home from work today, I stopped at Cartier's, who sent me to Tiffany's, and I got you this.
Fred, it's beautiful.
It seems to me you're catching the Christmas spirit.
I'm afraid I am.
Hello, Mr. Gay. I'm a sorceress from a kingdom long ago. And you are the evil dragon who will eat you up!
Cleo. I have attended lectures with personnel heads. I'm the chairwoman of the committee. Please let Susan and her friends stay in clothes as long as they want. Use where you can find me, but only if necessary. Of course. Goodbye, children.
Goodbye, honey. Goodbye, Mrs. Walker.
Where's Mrs. Walker going?
She has been going to her many meetings. Here's the invitation. Personnel Study Group, Neighborhood Center Auditorium. Speaker, Mr. Albert Sawyer. Subject, exploding the myth of Santa Claus. Mr. Kringle. Oh, please don't go. They probably won't let you in anyway.
We'll see about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Mr. Albert Sawyer.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. It seems the Children's Theater is giving its Christmas production on this stage. It hardly seems appropriate for a lecture of this sort, but the scenery could not be moved in between performances. The symbolic figure of Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, or Kris Kringle represents a classic expression of the wishful dreaming of all children. He is the omnipotent giver, the generous father. Mature adults who seek to perpetuate this myth reveal themselves as incomplete and neurotic personalities. People often wish to act as Santa in order to compensate for strong feelings of guilt. Fathers who feel guilty towards their children shower them with gifts. Wealthy men who play as Santa are covering for feelings of guilt about the money they made. Far from doing good in this world, this vicious myth has done more harm than opium.
Now look here.
I'm giving a lecture, Mr. Kringle.
This is to be an open discussion, I believe. I don't know anyone better than myself to answer your absurd remarks.
The discussion will take place after the lecture.
Very well.
As I was saying, the vast array of men who play at the Claus Santa myth, the Santa Claus myth, far from doing opium in this world have done more harm than myth.
How many fingers do you see?
3! Mrs. Walker, I refuse to continue until this little jackanapes has been removed from the platform.
Chris, please be reasonable.
I am being entirely reasonable, my dear. Here to stop all the absurdities and hogwash Mr. Sawyer's been spouting. And until I do, I'll not move 1 inch.
You won't, eh? We'll see about that.
Mr. Sawyer!
Jackanapes, am I?
Chris!
Don't you threaten me with that stick. You leave this platform right now, you hear? He hit me!
I wish I had.
Look here, Mrs. Walker. If you insist on defending this dangerous maniac, I shall call the police at once.
Oh, no, that won't be
Ladies and gentlemen, this lecture has been terminated. Very well. I shall not call the police now. I'll see you in your office and we shall decide on a proper course of action. Society has its ways of protecting itself against such people.
Oh, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
Oh dear. Just let Gimbal find out Macy's Santa Claus is a nut.
Oh, dear.
Good grief.
You saw him! He tried to kill me!
Oh, dear.
Mr. Sawyer, you're exaggerating. He didn't know such thing.
Good.
Something has to be done at once.
Mr. Sawyer exaggerates. Chris's appearance at the lecture was unfortunate, but he didn't do anything violent.
Kringle is dynamite and you are responsible. You're the one who hired him and you knew about his delusion. Only problem is what to do about this poor, deluded maniac.
Deluded maniac.
Like I said, something has to be done at once.
I don't believe it. He's just a kind old man.
He's evidently suffered some sudden change. He's entered a violent phase.
Dr. Pierce assured us that that could never happen.
Dr. Pierce is not a psychiatrist.
Neither are you.
Well, the very least that should be done is to have Mr. Pringle examined by competent psychiatrists at once.
But he's passed dozens of examinations already. Why should he go through that again? I just can't allow that to happen.
Miss Walker, there'd be no harm in it if the other doctors agree with Dr. Pierce that Chris is perfectly fine, then he could come back at once.
And if they don't, you've certainly done the right thing.
All right.
The only problem now is how to get him out of the store without creating another, incident. Mr. Shellhammer, I require your assistance. I'm sure I know how we can handle this in the most professional, equitable manner.
A football helmet? What's your favorite team?
Excuse me, Mr. Pringle? Run on in, man. Chris, Miss Walker would like you to take a picture with the mayor at City Hall. Is that okay with you?
Oh, I would be delighted to meet his honor, but I have a 5 o'clock appointment with Mr. Mason.
Well, you'd be back in plenty of time for that, Chris. In fact, we have a car waiting for you out front.
Oh, well, I guess I'll be on my way.
See you in the morning, Chris. Bright and early.
Well, hello there, how are you?
Good, yourself? What's your Mrs. Sawyer?
Bellevue.
Bellevue. The nut house? Does Mrs. Walker know about this?
Of course she does. She arranged the whole thing.
So this is Christmas.
That Mrs. Sawyer arranged for a meeting and Chris left in the car.
I just got a call from the psychiatric ward at Bellevue.
Bellevue!
Oh my.
They asked me to bring down Mr. Pringle's toilet articles. They said he'd been eating any street clothes for quite some time.
So that's where they took him. I had no idea.
Wait, what's going on?
Sawyer made all kinds of threats. I had no choice but to be sent to a psychiatric examination.
But why did you let Sawyer just take him anywhere?
Last night? How could I ignore last night? Suppose Sawyer had called the police.
All I know is I have to get to the hospital right away. They want to speak with me in person. See you, Dory.
Okay, Mr. Kringle, let's try this just one more time. Mr. Kringle, who was the first president of the United States?
Abraham Lincoln.
What is 3 times 5?
658.
What does the word trust mean?
Nothing.
Mr. Pringle, how many fingers do you see?
I don't care.
No, sir. You can't go in there. Please let me go. Who's in charge here? I demand this man's immediate release. Chris, thank God. Are you all right? I'll have you out of here in no time. Don't you worry.
I don't want it to be released.
What?
I thought Doris was beginning to believe in me. That's how sane people behave. I want to stay here.
But Doris had no idea where Sawyer was going to take you. She thought he was going to take you to a private doctor.
Then why didn't she do that here herself and explain the whole thing?
Because she didn't want to hurt you, Chris.
No, she had doubts. If you had been dragged off here, she would have been furious.
What if she did have doubts? Doris really hasn't believed in anything for years. You're not giving her a fair chance, Chris.
It's not just Doris. It's men like Sawyer. He's dishonest, cruel, and vicious, yet he's called normal. And I'm not. If that's being normal, I don't want to be. I want to stay here.
It's not just about you, Chris. What happens to you matters to a lot of people. People like me, who believe in you and what you stand for. And for people like Susan, who are just beginning to believe. You see, what happens to you, it doesn't matter about you, Chris. It's more people.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right about that.
Of course I am.
Maybe I should be ashamed of myself. And I am. Come on, Fred. Get me out of here. We may not win. We're going to go down fighting.
Now you're talking, Chris. Don't you worry, I'll have you out here in no time. Who's the doctor in charge?
I am.
I'm Dr. Rogers. Take Mr. Kringle to his room.
No, please, wait.
Please, don't concern yourself. Mr. Kringle will be cared for very gently. How can I help you?
Dr. Rogers, there's been a terrible mistake. This man must be allowed to leave immediately. This whole procedure is ridiculous.
I'm sorry, but I can't agree with you. Every interview, every mental competency test has led us to the same conclusion. Mr. Kringle's mind is far from normal.
Dr. Rogers, I can assure you that Chris gave you all the wrong answers and failed those tests deliberately. Please, I promise to make his freedom.
I'm sorry, but on the basis of these reports, we'll have to file immediate commitment papers. The state prohibits me from releasing Mr. Kringle.
Don't you worry, Chris. Don't you worry.
But Mr. Mason,
You're being ridiculous. You better get this case dropped.
my considered opinion and my experience as an abnormal behavioral psychologist tells me that this Mr. Kringle is potentially dangerous to society and himself.
If you do not succeed in getting Mr. Kringle's case dropped, you'll be without a job, and your career at Macy's will end without a Christmas bonus.
Yes, Mr. Macy. I'll go see Mr. Morrow right away.
Your Honor, Mr. Marr from State Attorney General Goldstein's office to see you.
Show him in, show him in. Good day, Your Honor. Hope you're well.
I'm fine, thanks. Just trying to decide what to give my wife for Christmas.
What can I do? Just a couple of routine commitment papers. You'll find everything in order. The literacy report's attached from Bellevue Hospital.
Bellevue, eh? Age unknown. An old man, is he?
Very old, Your Honor.
I suppose I'll read all of this.
No, you can take my word for it. It's a cut and dry consent proceeding. This fellow calls himself Chris Kringle. He thinks he's Santa Claus.
Your Honor, the Mr. Gailey to see you.
You better show him in. I thought you said it was cut and dry.
So I did. Your Honor, I represent Chris Kringle on the subject of those papers. In my opinion, my client's being railroaded, and I demand a proper hearing in which I can bring witnesses. This is the first I knew of a protest. Your Honor may sign them if you wish, but I shall bring a habeas corpus in the morning.
That won't be necessary. We'll have a hearing, 10 o'clock, Monday morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'd like to speak with Mr. Morrow immediately.
There he is.
Mr. Morrow, I'd like to have the whole case dropped right now.
It's too late. This Kringle's already been submitted by the county hospital. Has to go through the regular routine now.
Isn't there anything we can do?
Not a thing. There'll be a hearing Monday morning.
A public hearing? Who is that?
Mr. Kringle's lawyer.
His lawyer?
Oh, that's nothing to worry about. Just some young punk trying to get a little free publicity.
Publicity? Oh no. Mr. Gailey, I'm Sawyer, Albert Sawyer, R.H. Macy's representative.
Oh, so you're Sawyer.
We're very anxious to avoid any publicity. If you'll cooperate, Mr. Macy will find some very generous way of expressing his appreciation.
Mr. Sawyer, Mr. Macy has nothing to do with this. But that publicity idea, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm going to need all the public opinion I can get to win this case. Much obliged, Mr. Sawyer.
Extra, extra! Read all about it! Man who believes himself to be Chris Kringle, employee of Macy's department store. Nationwide symbol of goodwill. Charged with lunacy, committed to state hospital indefinitely.
These are strange times. Chris Kringle, the little Santa Claus who is alone responsible for the wave of good in this city, is in trouble. Monday morning, ladies and gentlemen, this simple, kindly old man will appear before Judge Henry X. Harper, and he is charged with, of all things, lunacy. If bringing back the true Christmas spirit is a form of insanity, these are strange times indeed.
Listen to that, Charlie. My name's on air from coast to coast.
I'm not pleased at all. You look kind of tired, Henry. Maybe I ought to take a few weeks off.
Nonsense. I've never felt better in my life.
Go fishing, go hunting, go anywhere.
Why should I?
Because, Henry, this case is dynamite. Let some other judge handle it. Someone who's not coming up for re-election in the spring.
I don't know why you're so upset, Charlie. What is the matter with all this good publicity?
Good? Henry, it's terrible. You'll be a regular Pontius Pilate before you ever start. You'll be every little kid's villain, and their parents will hate you too.
Nonsense.
Come along, children. It's time to go home.
Aww.
No, now. No arguments.
Come on, Grandma.
home yet.
But I'm not tired. I'm not leaving.
Hang on a second, Charlie. I'll go to my grandkids tonight.
Quickly now, I promised their mother they'd be home by 8.
Good night, my little darlings. Wait a doggone minute. Where is my hubs? A fine way to treat their grandfather.
Well, I don't blame them, Henry. Any man who puts Santa on trial for lunacy, well,
You see what I mean?
All rise. Hear ye, hear ye. Hear ye all persons having business with this special term. Part 3 of the Supreme Court, held in and for the County of New York. Draw near and give your attendance, and ye shall be heard.
You may be seated.
Your Honor, the lunacy report has been submitted in evidence. I now wish to call my first witness. Would Mr. Chris Kringle take the stand?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in the case before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
Would you please state your name for the court?
Chris Kringle.
Chris Kringle, what?
Where do you live?
That's what this hearing will decide.
A very sound answer, Mr. Kringle. Do you believe you are Santa Claus?
Of course.
State register, Your Honor.
Well, young man, don't you want to cross-examine the witness? I believe he was employed to play Santa Claus. Perhaps he didn't understand the question.
Well, I understood it perfectly, Your Honor.
In the view of your witness' statement, do you still wish to put that defense, young man?
I do. The state declares that Mr. Kringle is not sane because he believes himself to be Santa Claus.
I'm afraid it's entirely reasonable and logical.
It would be, Your Honor, if you or I, or even Mr. Marr here, believed that we were Santa Claus.
Anyone who thinks he's Santa Claus is insane.
Not necessarily, Mr. Marr. You believe yourself to be Judge Harper, and nobody questions your sanity, Your Honor. Well, because you are Judge Harper.
I know all about myself, young man. Mr. Kringle is the subject of this hearing. Do you still believe he can prove to be sane?
I do. If Mr. Kringle is the man he believes himself to be, just as you are, Your Honor, then he is just the same.
Of course, but he isn't.
Oh, but he is.
Is what?
I intend to prove that Mr. Kringle is Santa Claus.
Oh, never mind.
did you see that? That young lawyer must be off his rocker.
Yes, you can. That old heart will have been found out to support by this time tomorrow.
Don't be so short and smarty pants. The old guy really thinks he's Santa Claus.
Probably just another nutcase.
Well, I think that you need to mind your manners.
Don't worry, Doris. Public sympathy is obviously behind Chris. It won't be easy, but we have a chance.
What about the law firm?
Oh, Mr. Hazlitt, the senior member of our firm, called me into his office today. It seems they can't have one of their junior partners make a spectacle of himself, trying to prove that some old crank is Santa Claus. He told me that unless I drop the case, they'd be forced to drop me.
Then you have to give it up.
I can't now, Doris. Chris needs me. I can't let that old man down.
Well, what about your job? You can't give that up.
As a matter of fact, I already have. I told Mr. Hazlitt I had no intention of dropping the case, and that was that.
How can you be so chaotic? Let's be realistic. Can't we give up jobs for any sentimental reason? I love and respect you, but when you go and do a crazy thing like this, well, I thought you were sensible and reliable. Stargazer.
I guess I am a stargazer. But I'm a darn good lawyer, too. I'll make out all right.
I doubt it. I doubt you'll be able to find another job.
You know what, Doris? It all boils down to this. You don't have faith in me.
Of course I do.
No, you don't. Not really. You don't believe in anything unless you've got proof.
It's not a question of having faith, Fred. You're bound to lose this case. That's common sense.
Faith is believing when common sense tells you not to. And Doris, you just got too much common sense.
It's a good thing one of us has. It's rather an asset sometimes.
Can't you get over being afraid? Can't you let yourself believe in people like Chris? In fun, in joy, in love?
and all the other intangibles.
You can't pay rent with intangibles.
And you can't live a life without them. Or at least I can't. I thought Chris had changed you, Doris. I thought you'd be ready to string along with me. But I guess you're not. I can see there's no use talking. We don't even speak the same language, do we? It's just no go then. That all?
No, suppose not.
Then there's nothing more to say.
No, it's funny, but with all my silly common sense, I thought it was really going to work out this time.
So did I. Bye, Doris.
Look, Your Honor, I don't care what you decide about old whiskey fuss up there, but you may have to officially rule that there's no Santa Claus. You might as well start looking for that chicken farm right now. We can't even put you up in the primaries.
But how can I say there's not a Santa Claus, Charlie? I'm a responsible judge. If I do, they'll have me disrobed and they'll try me for insanity. Unless something miraculous happens, then I'll have to accept the lunacy reports and have the old man committed.
Listen, Henry. Do you know how many millions of dollars worth of toys made each year? Toys that wouldn't be sold if it wasn't for Santa Claus. Have you ever heard of the National Association of Manufacturers? How do you think they'll like the name? What about all the men they employ to make these toys? Union men. Then there are the candy makers and the Christmas card makers, and even the Salvation Army. They've got a Santa Claus on every corner. And it's almost Christmas Eve in here. It's going to be an awful popular guy. Henry, I'm telling you, if you rule there's no Santa Claus, you count on just getting 2 votes. Yours and that fellow Mars.
No, Mars are Republican.
All rise. You may be seated. Mr. Gailey, you may proceed with your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. State your name for the court, please.
R.H. Macy,
Are you the owner of one of the largest department stores in the state of New York?
the largest.
Will you please identify your employee, Mr. Kringle?
Yes, sir.
Did you believe Mr. Kringle to be sane?
Yes.
Did you believe him to be truthful?
Yes.
Mr. Mason, you are under oath. Do you honestly believe this man to be Santa Claus?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mason, that'll be all.
Behavioral psychologist. Sawyer, you're fired.
I now call Dr. Howard Pierce to the stand.
You did very well.
Thank you. State your name and place of employment, please.
My name is Dr. Howard Pierce. I'm a physician at the Maplewood Home for the Aged. I've known Chris many years now.
Do you believe Chris is Santa Claus?
Yes,
Dr. Pierce, have you any rational, scientific reason for his opinion?
I do.
Dr. Pierce, did you express a Christmas wish to Mr. Kringle several weeks ago?
Why, yes, I did.
What was it?
I asked for an X-ray machine.
Did you express this wish to anyone else, Dr. Pierce?
No, it was too fantastic. X-ray equipment is very expensive.
What arrived at the Maplewood home yesterday?
An X-ray machine? Where'd it come from? On the card it said, Merry Christmas from Chris Kringle.
Do you know any other possible donors, Dr. Pierce?
No.
Then could you please tell me what you conclude from this?
When I made my wish, I said, if I really get this X-ray machine, I believe he's Santa Claus. It came, so I believe.
Thank you, Dr. Pierce. I now call Jim Sonnenfeld to the stand. Jim, you're the zookeeper in charge of the reindeer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Chris has an uncanny way with reindeer. They walk right up to him and eat out of his hand.
I object to this online testimony. It is ridiculously immaterial. Mr. Gailey's making a circus of this courtroom. There's no such person as Santa Claus, and everybody knows it.
Not quite everybody, Mr. Smarty Pants Attorney.
This is purely a matter of opinion, Your Honor. Order this court! You there, hush while I'll have you dismissed.
Me? Oh, I am sorry. You can proceed now.
Judge, can Mr. Marr offer any proof that there is no Santa Claus?
No, of course I can't. And I don't intend to.
This is no nursery. This is the New York State Supreme Court, and we are only wasting the court's time with this childish nonsense. Your Honor, is there or is there not Santa Claus? I ask for an immediate ruling.
The question of Santa Claus is by and large a matter of opinion. Many people firmly believe in him, and many others do not. The tradition of American justice demands for a broad and unprejudiced view of such a controversial matter. This court intends to keep an open mind. It will hear the evidence on either side. You may return to your seat.
Can you produce any evidence? Yes, I can. Would Mr. Thomas Mara please take the stand? Who, me? No. Thomas Mara, Jr.
Hi, Daddy.
Do you believe in Santa Claus, Tommy?
Sure I do. He got me a brand new sled last year.
What does Santa Claus look like, Tommy?
There, he's sitting right over there.
I protest.
Overruled.
Tell me, Tommy, why are you so sure there is a Santa Claus?
Because my daddy told me so.
And you believe your daddy, don't you, Tommy? He's a very truthful man.
Sure I do. My daddy wouldn't tell me anything that wasn't so.
Yes, that's what I thought, Tommy. Thank you.
And don't forget, a real official football helmet.
You shall have it, Tommy.
Your Honor, the state concedes on the existence of Santa Claus. This court concurs. But having so conceded, Your Honor, we ask that Mr. Gailey cease presenting personal opinion as evidence. I could bring hundreds of witnesses in here with opposite opinions. I therefore demand that Mr. Gailey submit authoritative proof that Kris Kringle is the one and only Santa Claus.
Your point is well taken, Mr. Marlin. I'm afraid I must agree. Mr. Gailey, are you prepared to show that Kringle is Santa Claus on the basis of competent authority?
Your Honor, I'm not prepared to do so at this time. I request an adjournment.
This hearing stands adjourned until tomorrow afternoon at 3.
Mr. Kringle isn't coming over tonight, is he? I'm afraid not. And Uncle Fred isn't either, is he? They haven't been here in so long.
Susan, Mr. Kringle may never be able to come here again.
Why not?
Well, it's because he says he's Santa Claus.
But he is Santa, Mother. I know he is.
Some people don't believe that, Susan. So they're having a sort of trial.
But he must be Santa, Mother. I gave him a wish for you and me and Uncle Fred. He knows it's important to me. Nobody could be like Santa Claus except Mr. Kringle.
I think maybe you're right.
Well, is Mr. Kringle unhappy, Mother?
Afraid so.
Well, I've written him a letter to cheer him up.
Mr. Kringle, New York County Courthouse. May I read it?
Yes.
You really believe in him, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Then I'll put it in the mail chute right away.
Thanks, Mommy.
I believe in you too.
Hey, Alice, here's 2 more. What a mess. Every year it's the same thing. What do we do with all this mail?
Yeah, I know.
Hey, Louise, here's a new one. I've seen the kids write to Santa Claus at the North Pole, the South Pole, carry the postmaster, and every other way. But this kid, and all of these kids, they go to Mr. Kringle, New York County Courthouse. Special delivery, too. Can you beat that?
Sure, the kid's right. That's where he is. Don't you read the papers? They've got him down there, this Kringle guy. He claims he's Santa Claus, and some VA claims he's nuts.
You mean there's a guy out there that might actually be Santa Claus?
A lot of people think he is.
Well, what's the matter
Louise. You're not very bright or something. This guy Kringle, he's the answer to our prayers.
You mean,
Yeah.
geez, why didn't I think of that?
Dear Mr. Kringle, I miss you very much, and I hope I will see you soon. I believe that you're Santa Claus, and I never believed in Santa Claus before. I hope you're not sad. Yours truly, Susan Walker.
Chris, I've been trying to obtain competent authority. I've wired Ray LaGuardia, Governor Dewey, and other officials. No one will respond.
You better get a move on, Fred. In a couple of hours, I'll start my annual ride over the rooftops. Or else.
All rise.
You may be seated. Mr. Morrow, you may proceed.
Your Honor, I have reports of various state institutions and mental hospitals. One has 4 men who think they're Napoleon, 2 who think they're the singer Caruso, and 1 who thinks he is Tarzan. It is clear that delusions like Mr. Crinkle's are not uncommon.
Mr. Gagan, have you any further evidence to submit?
I have, Your Honor. It contains the Post Office Department, an official agency of the United States government. The Post Office Department was created July 26, 1776, Your Honor, by the Second Continental Congress. At that point in time, it was one of the largest business organizations in the world. Last year, it did a gross business of $1,112,877,409.92. In the last quarter alone, Your Honor, it did a net profit of over $51 million. It is indeed gratifying to know the Post Office Department is doing so well, but it hardly has any bearing on this case. It has a great deal of bearing. If I may be allowed to proceed, Your Honor.
By all means, Mr. Gailey.
The figures I've just quoted indicate an officially run organization. Moreover, it has been part of the United States government since 22 days after the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Furthermore, U.S. postal laws and regulations make it a federal offense to deliver mail to the wrong party. The state of New York is second to none to its admiration of the Post Office Department. We are ready to concede that's the most authoritative and efficient organization. For the record, Mr. Morrow? Yes, for the record. Anything to get on with this hearing. Your Honor, I wish to introduce 3 pieces of evidence to the court. You may mark them as exhibits A, B, and C. Those 3 letters were just delivered to Mr. Kringle here in this building. I submit that is positive proof that competent federal authority believes that Mr. Kringle is the one and only Santa Claus. 3 letters are hardly positive proof. I have further exhibits, Your Honor, but I hesitate to produce them.
Just bring them in, young man. Put them right here on the bench.
But, Your Honor.
I said, put them right here.
Very well. Yes. We'd all like to see them, I'm sure. Your Honor, every one of these letters is simply addressed to Santa Claus.
The United States of America believes this man to be Santa Claus. This court will not dispute it. Case dismissed.
Merry Christmas, Your Honor.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you too, Mr. Kringle.
Here you are. I never thought he'd pull it off. That letter gag was clever.
It wasn't just a letter. You gotta hand it to that guy, baby. He believed in the whole thing right from the start. Before he was finished, he kept everyone else believing in it too.
Congratulations, Mr. Daly. May we get a picture of you with Chris Kringle?
Hey, where'd Kringle go?
Well, it is 5 o'clock on Christmas Eve. Mr. Kringle can't be expected to waste his precious time in this courtroom. I'll bet he's hitching up the reindeer right now.
Anytime, too. It's just beginning to snow.
That's right.
Congratulations, Gailey. Have to admit, I'm kind of happy about how it all turned out. Me too, Mark. Hey, don't forget about Kringle's promise to Tommy. Good Lord, I've got to get that football helmet.
sweetheart?
You always told me that there was no such thing as Santa Claus. Mr. Kringle isn't really Santa Claus. This whole business is a lot of silly nonsense.
Susan, I was wrong when I told you that. You must believe in Mr. Kringle.
But how? Mr. Kringle hasn't given me my wish. Uncle Fred isn't here, and I didn't get what I asked for. So how can I believe him?
You keep on believing. You have to have faith.
Faith?
Faith is believing in things when common sense tells you not to. You didn't believe. You would never get things you really wanted.
But
I know anyone can have faith when things are okay, but no faith means believing, rain or shine. And you wrote that letter to Mr. Kringle, and you made me believe. Oh, you must believe too.
Mommy.
Susan.
Uncle Fred!
Hi, Susan. All doors. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Fred. We didn't expect to see you.
I don't mean to bother you, but I just got a call from Chris. He asked me to bring you down to the Maplewood home. He was very insistent. He even gave me directions over the phone.
Mother, please, let's go, please.
Of course. We'll be glad to go with you.
I believe. Maybe I didn't do anything so wonderful at all. Look.